I can't tell you the number of times I sit in a room with younger marketers and say, teach me, I don't know how this works.
One problem that tech is solving for you very efficiently today, and another aspect of marketing where you would like tech to play a larger role.
Very interesting question, right? And fairly complex.
Hello everyone, welcome to the last episode of Conversion Conundrum Season 1, brought to you by Economic Times. We have with us Chandrika Jain. She is the Marketing Director for Lenovo India. When we thought about Lenovo, we think it's about the ThinkPad and the Legion laptops that we use on a daily basis, but there is more to it. Lenovo leads a big enterprise solution business in India. They serve to brands across categories, and through Chandrika's lenses, we will try and understand the nuances between B2B and B2C marketing. Welcome to the show, Chandrika.
Thank you very much, Anirban. It's a pleasure.
You must often be juggling between B2B and B2C decision making as a marketer of Lenovo. How do you deal with the differences?
Fundamental difference comes from the consideration set of B2B marketing versus B2C marketing. Let me elaborate a little bit there,
Sure.
right? So in B2B marketing, because of the complex nature of the business that we're talking about, within each organization itself, we're speaking to multiple people within an organization.
Absolutely.
Each person is looking at it with a different lens of evaluation, is available in a different type of media. Therefore, the set of considerations while making a decision is very different.
Correct.
The second thing that one has to consider is the long journey of a B2B decision cycle.
Yeah.
So it is not necessarily a 3-week cycle or a 6-week cycle.
Correct.
Sometimes it's a 3-month cycle, sometimes it's a 6-month cycle, and sometimes it can almost go up to a year cycle.
Yeah.
So the nurturing that it takes and the length of that nurture also is a consideration set when you're doing B2B marketing. And the final one, right, is I think the most critical one, which is when you evaluate the role of marketing and relationship or marketing and sales and the influence of both of that on B2B marketing.
If I were to buy a laptop, I'm probably researching online and then going to a Chroma store or an Amazon.in. Out of the 5 products I have shortlisted, I buy one.
Right.
Now compare it to me being a CIO and buying an enterprise solution that would probably influence the lives of 1,000 people for the next two years. What are the performance marketing strategies for both the cohort that I just mentioned?
Yeah, very interesting question, right? And fairly complex. I have a slightly deeper view on both these sets, but what you fundamentally questioned is, how does the B2C audience performance marketing work versus the B2B?
Correct.
But let's start with B2C, which is the more known performance marketing.
Yeah.
Now, in my personal opinion, I call this swinging preference.
Okay.
And I don't generally think this starts from just doing a typical media selection and optimizing that media. I believe that this starts at a more fundamental point. So the first being delivering a certain brand and value to the customer. So thinking about that, right? So what kind of product, what kind of features, at what value? The second is what I call the information or enabling discovery. So are you leaving the right kind of information, the right kind of reviews, the right kind of expert opinions, the right kind of influencer content along the decision journey of a consumer for him to discover and find more about the product. The third aspect of this is what I'm calling making it convenient or building the draw. So what do I mean by making it convenient?
Yeah.
Making it convenient is about how easily is it available? Can I get a 4-hour delivery on this? Can I get an EMI option on this? Can I get it online? Can I get it delivered home? So building that convenience around it. And finally is what you call sweetening the deal, right? Like building in the offers, building in the discounts, making it, giving them that little nudge. So that, to me, forms the nucleus of performance marketing. And I don't think you can do performance marketing without that nucleus.
Of course.
Then I take it a step further, which is when you select the right kind of media around it. So, building the right kind of programmatic plan, using search in a fashion that enables performance marketing, optimizing e-commerce platform to be able to drive people to a certain product or purchasing a certain product.
Correct.
All that become your media choices. And the final layer of performance marketing, according to me, is using data intelligently.
Okay.
So then using your own data to inform the data that you buy. So building lookalike audiences, also optimizing your media constantly and informing your media with success to ensure that your media is delivering the ROI that you have finally signed up for.
Absolutely.
So performance marketing is not just here is marketing that has to build ROI, but in my mind, it's almost a cell which starts with the nucleus and builds outward.
Is that establishing the thought leadership position a big challenge? And what role does content play in building the reputation?
See, I think marketing today is all about content across the board, and in B2B even more so. And that content taking the role of being thought leadership or establishing yourself as somebody who has an expert opinion becomes critical. Now, why do we need it? It needs because I think it provides a certain trust and it helps us build confidence in the minds of our audiences.
Correct.
Right? So it plays a very important role.
This lends me to my next question. Actually, I wanted to understand your perspective on the bottom of the funnel. It is said that advocacy and loyalties are very critical when it comes to decision making B2B. How do you ensure that you are, leveraging advocacy and actually building the loyalty?
Yeah. Anirban, again, I come right first principles. Word of mouth is important, period.
Okay.
Right? Across the board, it's important. It's important here as well. But before getting into how do we leverage it, right, I do want to talk about the challenge.
Yeah.
It's not easy to develop these customer testimonials or case studies. So
Correct.
at Lenovo, what we do is we end up building certain programs to ensure that our account managers and our sales teams are working with us to help build out some of these customer testimonials, to work through the content of it, to get the right kind of customer experiences built into it, to get
Correct.
the legality covered of it, right? That in itself is a process, and we have some incentives to ensure we get more and more such stories into the marketing content funnel itself. So we have that. And beyond that, what we do is once we've received those customer stories and we've built them out, we create both short and long form content out of it because it's an extremely critical part of B2B marketing. And we use it across the funnel. So you can use it simply and in a short form in social media. You can use it in its longest form in one-to-one events. You can use it as a case study paper that you want to give out to people. So there are multiple forms in which that we use the same testimonial and papers that we build out.
Yeah.
But that said, there's another form of customer testimonial when it's very large, when it's extremely popular, and it's something that a brand feels proud of. You can also take it into your ATL communications, right?
Correct.
So we've done a lot of communication on the role that we play with F1 as a partner. Or Ducati as a partner. Our technology gets used with them. That has a great impact, and we use some of those case studies even in broader ATL communications.
We are seeing a lot of the CMOs are now becoming CEOs, not just in B2B, but also in B2C.
Yeah.
And it is said this is happening because the lines between the sales and marketing is blurring.
Right.
Marketers are now closing or very close to conversions rather. What's your opinion on this entire lines being blurring, or do you see the handoff still being very much a necessity?
Anirban, it's a very interesting topic, right? For two reasons. Because a couple of years ago, you always saw data and statistics that said that there were much fewer marketeers who made it to the CEO's office.
Yes.
And today you see how many more have made it to the CEO's office.
Correct.
For somebody like me who's in marketing, it's a very inspiring conversation to have.
Yeah.
But before I answer that question, right, I want to sort of step back and maybe quote from a book that I read recently. So I read this book called Quantum Marketing.
Okay.
And quantum marketing, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, all credits to the author, talks about the different paradigms of marketing. So the paradigms of marketing starts with, the onset of what is called product marketing, which was paradigm 1. Paradigm 2 is when the onset of TV and radio happened that allowed marketers to tell a story, and emotional marketing came into being, and good things happened during that stage. Paradigm 3 was when social media unleashed itself, content came into being, people had opinions, everybody had the power of marketing in their hands. Paradigm 4 is what he defines as where we are today, right? Which is the onset of technology. Or the onslaught of technology. There is IoT, there is AI, there is machine learning, there is data, there is insights. We are seeing information like no other.
Correct.
And what has this done to marketers, I think, is very critical. So we started from being left-brained to now having to absolutely be right-brained, being able to use data, use technology, understand the business, being able to drive ROI with these different paradigms.
Okay.
Making marketers, I think, very, complete. We're both left-brained and right-brained, and we're working with understanding humanity to drive growth.
Fantastic.
And that, I think, drives us to contend for those offices as much as any other team does. But that said, right, this is again my personal point of view.
Sure.
Leena Nair today is the CEO of Chanel, right? But she's an HR person.
Yeah.
And we have many other examples where marketers are CEOs.
Correct.
As a matter of fact, my my MD today was an ex-marketer
Yes,
himself, right?
absolutely.
Shailendra Katyal is one of them as well. So I feel it's more an ability game than anything, but generally the transformation of marketing has made us strong contenders to the office.
Fantastic. You mentioned about tech. So what is the one problem that tech is solving for you very, efficiently today? And another aspect of marketing where you would like tech to play a larger role?
Tech is brilliant, right? It's been enabling a lot of functions for us. So apart from the obvious building efficiencies in media, it's also been able to help us build ROI or visibility. As an example, we run a lead management program within B2B. Where we are now enabling a lead to reach our salespeople in less than 30 minutes.
Wow.
And ensuring that we have the visibility to ensure what happened after that, and does it require a follow-up, does it not require a follow-up, what can we do better. So that gives us a good sense of, did the marketing work, did the marketing not work, did our was our response rate at par, what can we do to enable better.
Fantastic.
Right? So that's something that's happening in the B2B world. I'm giving you specific B2B examples, of course. Now, what can tech enable for us? Like, I have a couple of idealistic situations that I want to be in. As an example, media has evolved a ton for us over time, right?
Correct.
Just to give you an instance, we had TV, today we have OTT, we have connected TV, we had radio, we have channels like Spotify and many others today. Digital has taken a whole new form of itself, multiple platforms, content being created, all of that. Today, as a brand, what I miss most is the ability to be able to track an audience across mediums.
Okay.
Right? I am able to track an audience within a medium.
Correct.
I'm not able to track an audience across a medium. So I don't know if I served up Anirban a piece of content on OTT, and then did I get him on Spotify, and did I then get him on digital media? I have no way to tell. And if there is some way that technology can enable that, I would be ecstatic.
Fantastic.
And the others, I think every marketing person's existential issue, which is ROI. So while there are complex and simple MMM models that are available in the market, that drive attribution to marketing and say, this is what was our contribution to the revenue, the uptake of them or the believability in each of that model has been varying. I still feel that there is scope to have that one form of attribution that that tech can enable, and a lot of people can sign up to, that will allow us marketers draw a very clean line between impact and attribution.
Are we going there?
I think we are. So there are very effective models, there are complex ones, there are simple ones to do. We're definitely going there. I personally believe that we're not yet there where it can simply draw a line between this happened because of this.
Fantastic. This is not just the last question of this interview. This is the last question of season 1 for us, and I would like you to leave young marketeers with a dose of inspiration.
Right.
But there are many who would probably want to be in the chair that you are sitting today, lead the marketing function for a large brand like Lenovo. What are the, what is it that you would like to leave them with? Your pieces of advice for them.
Advice is a very heavy word, Anirban. I wouldn't think I'm fit to give any advice, but I can share experience.
Sure.
So 2 pieces there. One is, at the risk of sounding extremely cliched, I would say learn away. Marketing has been the most evolving function in the last 2 decades.
Correct.
How much it has spanned and how much it has learned. And I can't tell you the number of times I sit in a room with younger marketers and say, teach me, I don't know how this works. And every day there are newer things in marketing to be learned. I just spoke to you about the 4 paradigms and more to come, right? So the only way to stay relevant is to learn away. And the second thing I would say is, today, marketers are becoming CEOs, just like you said, is because they're able to show impact on business, because they're able to understand the business. So I would always urge marketers or urge the community to always think about how marketing can drive impact. And I think that's going to go a long way for all of us.
And when you say impact, not only the brand scores, but also
the business.
Needle. Thank
Absolutely.
you. Thank you very much. That was Chandrika Jain, Marketing Director for Lenovo India. With this, we come to the end of season 1 of Conversion Conundrum. Thank you very much to each one of you for being with us throughout the 8 episodes. See you soon.